Welcome to Growazid, your ultimate destination for rustic antique charm, vintage aesthetics, and timeless classic elegance. We bring you inspiring decor ideas, home styling tips, and creative ways to infuse history into modern living. From weathered wood textures to ornate vintage treasures, our content celebrates the art of timeless beauty. Rustic and antique home inspiration, vintage collectibles and decor ideas, classic and elegant interior styling, white and neutral palette aesthetic home tours, and DIY vintage transformations. Subscribe now and embark on a journey through classic sophistication with a touch of nostalgia. In today's fast-paced, resource-conscious world, more homeowners are turning towards sustainable ways to design beautiful outdoor spaces. One of the most inspiring approaches is creating a rustic garden oasis using recycled materials, especially in small gardens where every inch counts. This concept doesn't just embrace environmental responsibility, but also taps into the nostalgic and cozy charm of aged wood, weathered metal, and natural textures. By repurposing what's often discarded, you not only save money, but also add rich, authentic character to your garden. In this video, we'll explore how to turn a compact space into a breathtaking rustic sanctuary using creative, upcycled solutions. Begin by designing your garden's layout using repurposed materials like old wooden pallets, bricks, or discarded railway sleepers. These elements serve as the bones of your garden oasis, giving it structure and timeless character. Use bricks to edge garden beds, or stack pallets into rustic raised planters. Broken tiles and concrete chunks can become winding mosaic paths that guide visitors through the space. This foundational layer instantly grounds the garden in rustic charm while establishing clear zones within a small footprint. Wood is a staple in rustic design, and reclaimed wood brings its own story to your garden. Think aged fence panels transformed into privacy screens or barn doors turned into vertical gardens. If you come across an old ladder, lean it against a wall to display cascading potted herbs or flowers. Not only do these elements provide vertical interest in small spaces, but they also create a lived-in feel that is cozy and unpretentious. Sand lightly and seal to preserve without losing the worn aesthetic. Turn discarded chairs, tables, and even drawers into charming garden features. An old table can become a potting bench. A rusty wheelbarrow might be reborn as a mobile planter filled with succulents. Arrange mismatched wooden chairs in a cozy corner under a tree or pergola for an inviting conversation nook. By incorporating vintage furniture, you introduce both function and narrative, giving your rustic garden an almost storybook appeal. Forget store-bought plastic pots. Instead, use items like tin cans, teapots, wine crates, or even bathtubs as unique containers. These unconventional planters draw the eye and make each plant feel like part of a curated gallery. Drill drainage holes, add a layer of pebbles for aeration, and plant flowers, herbs, or climbing vines. The patina of old metal or chipped paint enhances the rustic feel while adding a whimsical, handcrafted touch. Introduce vertical height and cozy shading with a simple pergola or trellis made from salvaged beams or tree branches. These features not only give climbing plants like jasmine or morning glory a place to grow but also create a cozy microclimate for lounging or dining outdoors. Drape burlap or lace curtains across the frame for a soft, romantic effect. Add string lights or hanging lanterns for magical evening ambience. Balance the warmth of wood with the raw appeal of stone and weathered metal. Use old iron gates as garden walls or decorative screens. Incorporate rusted watering cans, farm tools, or antique hardware as rustic sculptures. Stones gathered from local areas can edge flower beds or be stacked into mini retaining walls. These materials provide texture and contrast, reinforcing the aged, grounded quality of your garden design. A water feature adds tranquility to any garden oasis. In a rustic setting, consider repurposing an old wine barrel or ceramic sink into a charming fountain. A galvanized tub can become a small fish pond surrounded by ferns and moss. The sound of gently flowing water not only calms the senses but also masks neighborhood noise, enhancing the peaceful retreat vibe even in a tiny backyard. Define walkways using repurposed stone slabs, broken ceramics, or slices of reclaimed timber. A meandering path through flower beds gives the illusion of depth and makes the garden feel more spacious. For added charm, imprint stones with leaves before they dry, or engrave inspirational quotes into cement pavers. These DIY details make every step a visual delight while adding to the handcrafted character of your oasis. Maximize space with vertical gardening techniques. Old wooden pallets, stacked crates, or recycled gutters mounted on walls can host trailing vines, herbs, or ferns. In ultra-small areas, try a green roof on a shed or doghouse. Not only do vertical gardens increase planting area, but they also insulate, reduce noise, and add a lush backdrop of greenery that contrasts beautifully with rustic materials. Add the final touches with quirky decorative items that tell a story. Antique signs, old clocks, bicycle frames, or even vintage mirrors can bring personality and surprise to your space. Hang mason jars filled with pebbles or fairy lights from tree branches, or use old picture frames as windows into lush greenery. Each piece doesn't just decorate, it deepens the narrative of your rustic retreat. Evening in your rustic oasis should feel magical. Skip modern fixtures and opt for lanterns, hurricane lamps, or DIY mason jar lights strung on twine. Solar lights can be disguised inside repurposed glassware. Candles placed in rusted sconces or antique tins give a soft glow. Lighting transforms your garden into a usable space at all hours while highlighting the natural textures and vintage elements you've so carefully chosen. Let nature take the lead in softening all the man-made elements. Encourage moss to grow on stone or wood surfaces, let ivy climb up salvaged walls, and plant drought-tolerant natives to blend with the surroundings. Avoid over-manicuring, the slight imperfection of nature enhances the rustic mood. By welcoming birds, butterflies, and bees into your garden, you complete the picture of a sustainable and living sanctuary. Transforming a small outdoor space into a rustic garden oasis using recycled materials is more than a design project, it's a philosophy. It encourages sustainability, creativity, and a deep connection to the environment and history. Every reused item carries a memory, every plant nurtures life. You don't need a huge budget or sprawling backyard to achieve this look. With patience, imagination, and a love for the old and worn, your little patch of earth can become a timeless, tranquil escape. Let your garden tell a story, one that celebrates both nature and human ingenuity. Pause 2.00s